Who is the real Santa Claus?
Oh, that's a great question.
Oh. I'm so glad you asked that. And the reason is I get so many emails from parents of young children saying, what do I tell my kids about Santa Claus? I mean, and my answer is, you can encourage let's play with it. It's okay to have fun with the idea of Santa Claus, to present him as a story, as a legend, as an idea, not real, but fun to think about and so forth. But then tell them about the real Santa Claus. The real Santa Claus was a guy named Nicholas, Saint Nick. He was born in 270 AD, and he was born in Myra, Turkey. And he became a Christian. He came from a wealthy family. And he became a bishop of an area on the coast of Turkey. And he was the most generous guy. Not only generous, but he was sensitive to, if I'm going to give you some money because you need it, I don't want to do it in a way to embarrass you. So he would often leave gifts on people's doorstep so they'd find it in the morning or in a bush near their house or something, because he didn't want to embarrass them. He was a man of love and truth. His love was shown by his great generosity. But he was a man of truth. He was imprisoned by the Romans and tortured for his faith. In the year 325 AD, he was a member of the Council of Nicaea, where he fought the heretic Arius, who had heretical ideas and was trying to convince people of heretical ideas. There's a legend that Nicholas actually slapped Arius across the face. That's probably not true. But he stood up for truth. He was a man of truth. And when he died and was martyred for his faith, I think it was on December the 19th, a tradition began of gift giving, because he was such a gift giver. That's what he loved. He gave away all his wealth. He was such a gift giver. And people, in remembrance of this Saint Nicholas, would give people gifts. Martin Luther was the one who said, let's not emphasize a saint. Let's move that gift-giving impulse to Christmas. It's only just a few days later, December 25th. And that's why we give gifts on Christmas Day, is because of St. Nicholas and his gift-giving, and how Martin Luther kind of moved that to Christmas Day, just 6 days later. But here's a story about St. Nicholas, the real Santa Claus. Now, granted, this comes from a biography of St. Nicholas that was written 500 years after his life. So how accurate it really is, we don't really know. But the story goes that back in those days, if you were a father and you had 3 daughters, as this one guy did, you would have to have a dowry to pay the family of someone to marry your daughter. If you didn't have the money, the dowry, they couldn't get married. And if they couldn't get married, they'd probably end up in prostitution. So in Nicholas's community was a man, he lost his job. He didn't have any money, and he had 3 daughters. He didn't have the dowry. One of them wanted to get married. He didn't have the dowry. One day, St. Nicholas comes down the street. They lived on a second floor. He took a little bag of gold coins and threw it up into their window. They find it. That's the dowry. She gets married. She has his grandchildren for him. Everything's great. The second one comes time for her to get married. Don't have a dowry either. St. Nicholas comes by again with a bag of coins, and he tosses them up. She gets the money for the dowry. She gets married. The third one gets old enough to get married. St. Nicholas comes by. Well, now the father's wondering what in the world's going on, right? So he stakes things out. He's watching. He's outside. He's like, what is going on? So he catches Nicholas. He said, what are you doing? And Nicholas throws the coins up and he says, this is just between us. Don't tell anybody. Well, that story made its way into Nicholas's biography. And what's interesting is in medieval times, medieval painters painted pictures of stockings hanging on the chimney. And the idea was that maybe those 3 girls had stockings drying on the chimney in their room, and the coins came up into the stockings. And that's today why we put gifts in stockings for our children.
What a cool
Now, Santa
story.
Claus himself later developed mainly in the Netherlands, fanciful story based on St. Nicholas, but it got all jazzed up and so forth. And it was carried over into the American colonies in the 1700s. They call him Santa Claus in Dutch. And but the most interesting thing about that is the picture we see today of Santa Claus with the white beard, with the red suit, with the hat, with the glasses and everything. You know where that comes from? In the 1930s, Coca-Cola Company did a big print campaign in magazines with color drawings of Santa Claus that looked that way. And so it's because of Coca-Cola Company that today, this is how we picture Santa Claus.
No kidding.
Yes, that's right.
Wow.
So you can take a swig of Coke and thank them that that's where we got the picture of Santa Claus today.
Wow. That's good.
Isn't that
That's
weird?
a good story. Wow. That's